We are here. Okay.
So how do you want to do this? You want to do like rapid fire, or we just ask a question, read one of the questions, and then we just talk about the question and kind of spill off a little bit, and then ask another question and just see how that goes?
Yes. So first off, thank you to everybody who submitted questions. You know, it's been a long time since we've had an opportunity to make some content. So this is great. It's funny, it takes a whole lot to get you to the point where you're talking to somebody, but you're in the middle of the forest. This is about as insane as the behavior can get. Talking to many people in the middle of the woods.
Talking to that thing.
Absolutely.
You're talking at that thing.
Yeah. So if you're listening, thanks for listening. And if you submitted a question, thanks for submitting a question. And thank you for your interest in our album. It's massively valued. And we are fans of the questions, fans of the criticism, fans of the opinions, and so on and so forth. Yeah. And so we're looking forward to shedding some light on some of the concepts behind our album here. And I guess
there's all kinds of questions. Even like I think a good question was I remember the one of like what have you guys been up to the past few years?
It's a great starting point,
because I think that's going to give context to the making of the record and whatnot. So what have you been up to for the past few years?
Yeah, let me find that question. Let me find it. What prompted your break for a couple of years, and what did you focus on individually or together during that time? Which is a question from Howgate95.
Wicked. Well, like a proper politician, thank you for the question.
Thank you for your interest.
Yeah, thank you for the question. We've been doing all kinds of stuff as far as I'm concerned. So we were, previously to these 2.5 years, 3 years, we were full grind, making content, chasing the carrot, and we were touring, that whole thing. And I guess the idea was to go full on major label and then, kind of be the biggest band in the world, like every band thinks they're gonna be. And then COVID hit, and it was like, that was a bit of a mess for musicians.
Yeah, the other thing is too, we didn't have any responsibilities before. Well, not many.
True.
Our responsibility was to just be entertainers.
Yeah, that was largely
much
largely what our whole lives were about.
Yeah.
Present yourself to the world as an entertainer, make content, be someone. This is so crazy. You get like the whole team around you telling you to be someone that everybody else wants to be.
But the ultimate pattern is the pattern of dependency.
Yeah.
So we went from being dependent on people and corporations and that whole thing to being in a situation where we're like, okay, well, you can't really tour because of COVID, so what are you going to do with yourself? And now you have responsibilities.
Yeah.
You have to make an honest living, and you have to, at some point, pay your bills.
Yeah, well, that's a big one, is during this time we moved out of our family home. Because we had a recording studio there in the basement, and we had Mister, our dog, running around and barking, and we were like, damn, it's insanely difficult to track drums or track a vocal.
Yeah.
So, you and I moved out, and that came with, okay, now you got to pay for a bunch of shit, and that's just life. Everyone's got to pay
all
for
of a sudden,
shit.
life gets in the way.
Yeah, life gets in the way, so it's like, okay,
what do we got to do to keep up?
Yeah, well, we wanted to rent the place to record the record. That was the big vision, and then we were like, okay, we got to fund all this. So we actually started working in construction, because we had this foresight that's like, we have this plot of land and we want to down the road know how to build stuff so that we can build our own recording studio and be rent free and be mortgage free and all that. And so the foresight there and the plan was, okay, we'll get jobs in construction, we'll learn the trades, and then we'll be able to, for very minimal cost, build our own stuff at really high quality.
And the great thing is, construction's a great trade.
Oh, it is.
When you work in construction, you can make a great living.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so you get the benefit of learning how to build, and you get a good, honest wage that keeps you afloat, which gives you the space to make music.
Yeah.
And that's all we've ever wanted.
Yeah.
That's why we signed a record deal, was to have the space to make music.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just been like...
Yeah, I remember all the arguments going down, like, because we wanted to build a studio. We wanted 2 rooms, we wanted to put up walls, we wanted to kind of create this ISO booth, and then the arguments were like, well, don't spend all your time and money doing that, because you should spend all your time writing songs so that a label signs you, and then you get into a studio, and then everybody else kind of makes sure that you're able to record your music.
Yeah, and, which is not what we were about.
No, not what we were looking for. That was interesting. Like, we had to do all that, right? So we did the major deal. We had to do all that to learn and really know, like, hey, this isn't really for us at all. And then what? Then we just stopped. Like, we stopped pursuing music. Well, not pursuing music. We stopped pursuing the persona side, the influential side of being an artist and having a following and building your following. We stopped all that because it felt like it was taking away from the focus, which was just make music. Yeah, and that's really back to what you said. It's like, we just want the space to make music. Like, I don't care that anybody knows about who's making the music.
Yeah. It also, the whole thing just felt a little stupid. It just feels a little stupid to spend all your time doing that, making stuff that's all about, like, hey, please listen to my music. Instead of just spending all your time making dope music.
Yeah.
That's the real shift of mindset that happened. So yeah. And that's kind of sort of what the album is about, a lot of it. But we'll get into that. That was question number 1.
Well, good.
One of the questions.
Yeah, one of the questions.
Let's see what else is in here. We got, and we want to make sure we get to all of these, so we can keep our answers like somewhat.
Oh yeah, true.
Somewhat short, because there are actually a lot of questions.
We are going to be here for 4 hours if we do that.
Absolutely. Okay. I'm just going to pick a random one. How about that? That'll be interesting.
Pick a random question.
What is your philosophy on low end? Oh, I don't have the name of the person who submitted that, but...
Philosophy on low end.
What is your philosophy on low end?
We could do it the whole...
I'd say the basic philosophy behind the low end is have it present. Have it present often, and use it to your advantage to fill in the sound. And for us, we like to approach our music from... Like, when we're mixing our music, we want it to feel and sound like a lot of, like, reggae songs that we like. So that is, like, predominantly low end. And we don't worry about the whole... Because a lot of people will cut their low end so that the other stuff can be heard clearly. We don't worry about that at all. We're just assuming that our listeners are boosting on their listening setup. We're assuming that they have the capacity to handle all the bass.
Well, it's also what we want to promote, right? Like, we make music for nice sound systems, because that's just how we are. And we want to promote that kind of music consumption. Like, it's an experience, right? Like the vinyls, back in the day, you sat down and listened to a record. That was the activity.
Right? And it couldn't handle all that low end.
It couldn't handle all the low end, and now we can.
Now digital music can.
Now we can, and we have sound systems that can handle the low end, and
so
that's
like, get that low end in there.
Yeah, totally. And like all the big records have like this nice round low end.
Yeah, especially like new records.
Rock, classic rock, is missing so much low end because of this vinyl thing.
Because they cut it out to fit other things. You have lots of guitars, lots of vocals.
And that kind of followed suit into modern rock. And like even now, modern rock, like go listen to a rock band, like it's missing. It literally feels like it's missing low end.
A lot of times, yeah.
Like it doesn't even sound balanced especially when you play it compared to like, I don't know, Back to Me.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, like Tame Impala, even like. Even Tame Impala is missing Some
yeah.
low end.
Well, I mean,
Pretty
it's a
bright.
matter of taste. Like, you could push it more, and then
Everyone's got to make
lose
music exactly
clarity.
like I make music.
Okay, what else do we have on here? Any chance of a US tour?
I mean, there's always a chance. It's not impossible, but we kind of got
Probably not.
no, probably not in the
went-
near future.
We went from like spending all of our time practicing to be very high quality performing artists to spending all of our time practicing to become high quality recording artists.
Hmm.
So now that we're in the recording sphere, it's kind of like the philosophy is just like, it's an implicit assumption. Just make a bunch of music and make a bunch of music, and then if anything naturally comes up that, like, you know, is right to tour on, then tour on it.
Hmm.
But we'll be in a situation where we'll have to put together a group of musicians in order to reproduce some of our songs live, and hey, that's part of the ball game.
Yeah.
That's part of the
definitely where
ball
we're at
game.
now. Like, we can't play this live.
Yeah.
I'm not playing this live. I don't know if you are. Maybe you'll go do a solo tour.
I won't
The
do
Jake
that.
Dubé solo tour. But yeah, touring.
That's it.
It's killer work.
Yeah, that's
Killer
pretty much
work.
it.
Yeah. It also costs a lot of money to do that.
True.
And like,
True.
I'd
And you
rather,
gotta be
if I'm
earning
gonna spend
money.
that much money, I'd rather spend it on a studio, building
Yeah,
a studio.
honestly, or
Right.
yeah, building something.
Building something so that I can keep making music without
Yes.
spending so much money. It's crazy how much money you need to spend to get into the situation where you can compete with the major products out there.
Mhm.
It's just so funny. Like,
How do you guys get so much monstrous sub on your tracks? Well, that's kind of like the philosophy of the low end. But a good trick would be just turn it up and then create a dynamic relationship with, like, your low end, have a dynamic relationship inside it. So for example, your kick and your bass create some sort of dynamic relationship between them.
yeah.
That's what I would say.
And
'Cause
don't
that's
let
what
don't
gives
let the mud seep through.
Yeah, don't let too much mud.
Yeah.
Clean out the mud for
Yeah.
sure, and that will help you achieve more monstrous subs. That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
It's
That's
like
pretty
you got to
good.
create a gap between your mids and your low,
Yeah.
so that they can both breathe
Yeah.
in a healthy manner.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if you're trying to push it, and like the other part of it is like on our stuff, when we get into a BMF,
Mm-hmm.
we accentuate, because we're taking out other elements, we accentuate the low end. Like in Best Direction, when we kick into the chorus part, the low B comes in,
Yeah.
and we go from just the fuzz bass to adding the clean bass. And so layering, I guess that's not a really good piece of advice. Layering low end, it's not really a good piece of advice, but if you're like surgical about it, it
Yeah.
can be like one of the most amazing pieces of low end, like Stefan Botzen. That's layering low end.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Okay. Anything else you want to add to
Low
some
end. How do you
monstrous
get
low end?
monstrous low end? I mean,
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Just fucking turn it up.
yeah.
Just turn it up and
Turn it up.
just
yeah.
listen, make sure it's not too much,
Yeah, it's
and push that shit. You know.
It's
like-
also like a game of like time, right? Like you got to put in your time with your ears to become familiar with what's too much, what's not enough.
Yeah, but
what's-
like, you know, like that's like typically people want the short. Like, what's the quickest way to get monstrous subs? You know.
yeah,
No one wants to hear you need to spend a bunch of time.
Well, a
training
quick way
your
to get
ears
monstrous sub is to go and listen to a bunch of music
and try to match it.
and try to match it
With
to the
fresh
music that
ears.
yeah, definitely you need fresh ears. Go listen to something that you know has really good low end.
Mm-hmm.
Drive Me Crazy by K Tronada and
Yeah.
Vic Mensa. Some crazy low end on that, or Weight Off is also really good.
Mm-hmm.
Bus Ride, K Tronada, a lot of good K Tronada stuff. But
Good, quick question then.
what's the question?
Just tying into that, what artists were inspirations for the sound of this album? It's
Oh.
from Carter J.
Yeah.
J.J. Carter.J.J.
K Tronada.
K Tronada.
Yeah, K Tronada. Yeah, K Tronada for sure. Also, for Sonics, we were referencing a lot of Vultures 1. So there's Beg Forgiveness. Back to Me, those were the two tracks we were really going back to, ironically. Tame Impala for sure. Tame Impala is like, at least for me,
Yeah.
like I feel like at the beginning of when we were conceptualizing this record, part of it was it's got to be just us.
Yeah.
It's got to be, we got to mix it, we got to produce it, we got to songwrite it, we got to
Yeah.
track all of it.
Yeah.
And Tame Impala, or Kevin Parker in particular, is a huge inspiration for that. Just the philosophy front,
yeah.
the production front.
There's some Enya inspiration in there.
Yeah.
There's some, what else we got in there? There's like some Show Me the Body.
Yeah, some
Dog Whistle.
Yeah, Dog Whistle. Fuck, what a great record. That's a good record.
Some of those vibes.
But there's also like the other side of the influence, which is like the conceptual side of influence, which are authors that we were reading.
Yeah.
There's like Yus Merlu.
Yeah.
With he's got a great book, Rape of the Mind, which is about tactics of brainwashing and defending against the tactics of brainwashing. He was a psychiatrist in World War II, training resistance members against Nazi brainwashing tactics.
Yeah.
So there's all that stuff. There's Ian McGilchrist, author of The Matter with Things and The Master and His Emissary. Great book, Master and His Emissary. Just a quick plug.
What ethos pushed you in this direction?
What
That's what Carter J. wants to know.
Another one from him.
Well, that's the same question.
Oh,
you kind of jammed.
what ethos?
You kind of jammed two into one.
yeah.
This is a bit of like a. It's like when you scan like two grocery items with the self checkout.
Or you just scan everything as bananas. Yeah. What ethos pushed us in this direction?
No, it's just general. It's kind of like the general ethos of like going out and like leaving the nest of your family and going in, like being independent and starting to grind it out and just being like, you know, we're taking responsibility for ourselves now.
Yeah, and there's also like the dynamic of like I don't know about you, but I definitely notice this dynamic in society in general that's like almost destructive. You know, like there's a bunch of what I feel, and maybe I'm wrong, I feel is like degenerate behavior. People falling so hard for
all that stupidity.
Yeah, for
it's all that stupidity.
Yeah.
I need to consume things, and that's and that's a need of mine.
Or to be divisive in like their belief systems and politics, and just getting online and like raging at people, and it's just like all of it just seems unhealthy for society.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Right, and one of those, and all of that has kind of pushed us to be like, okay, like it's not really about being on a side or taking sides of belief systems. It's more so about finding your own path, trailblazing, in this world of chaos, right? And the past 4 years, what's been happening in the world was a great time, not a great time in society, but a great time for us to make this kind of record.
Yeah, it's like it's just felt like that.
Yeah. Also, was like another good one was inspiration-wise is Roger Waters, Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
Animals in particular is, you know, like that's that thing that.
The conceptual.
Yeah, it's a conceptual thing that reflects a universal theme. It's a universal truth. It's a story that is like, you know, you can't hide from this because this is just human nature.
It's just what it is.
Yeah, it's just what it is, and it's not always pretty, and it's difficult, and you got to find your way through it and integrate and all that stuff. But Pink Floyd and Animals, mind you, there's like The Wall. There's some of The Wall in there.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of good inspiration from a lot of different places came for this.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Let's hear the next question.
What's the most important discovery you made in the creation of this work? Who's that? That's Luke Grunts. What's the most important discovery you made in the creation of this work? It's called art.
It's not work.
It's called
Luke.
art.
How do you not know that?
But you wouldn't know that.
Yeah, so the most important thing.
I feel like the most important thing I discovered during the creation of this of this process is would be this idea. It's like that thing we were talking about how the equivalent of a recording artist in like the visual art world would be like a painter, and how it seems kind of nonsensical to call yourself a painter and to do sketches and then hire somebody to come in and put the paint on. Like that feels really weird, and that's what and that's what the music making process is like. And you know, everybody has their reasons for that. Like a lot of it is like, well, you know, I'm not a trained engineer, and back in the day you used to actually have to be a trained engineer in order to operate recording equipment. But now it's like you can't really make the argument that, like, you know, it's impossible for you to hold a brush.
Yeah.
Like, you have to know how to use the brush, and you have to know how to apply color, and you have to do all that stuff, and you have to do it, even though it's hard. And in music, it's kind of like, oh, well, you know, all the technical stuff is hard, so I just don't do any of it. But like, that's where all the gravy is in terms of how music is made. So that realization just kind of like put me in this space that's like, it doesn't have to be anything other than made by us.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting you say
and
that.
Made by us will mean that it is our piece of art, and that will be authentic, and then that way, and we can build off that. The great thing about recording music is you can do it all the time. Yeah. There's no limit to the amount of music you're allowed to record. So if you do something,
that's if you have the capability of recording music.
Right, unless you need money.
If you're not capable of recording your own music, then you don't have unlimited studio time. And you can write as many songs as you want, but that doesn't mean that you can record as many songs as you want.
Yeah, it means you need to give metaphorical blowjobs to people who are higher than you on the food chain.
Yeah, to get into a studio. It happens. It actually literally happens. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, metaphorically? It actually literally happens that you have to metaphorically blow somebody.
Yeah, I'd say the most important thing, it's interesting you say that, because the most important thing I learned was to integrate into all aspects of life. Yeah. So there's like all of the subconscious journeying that was happening pre the record, like before that, as well as during the making of the record, reflecting on experiences in the world and observing the world, observing myself in the world. And one of the biggest realizations that I had was that, like you said, the painter needs to be the guy holding the brush, and it's start to end for the painter. There's a process of integration into the art, and that the creation of the art isn't a process that you're removed from. It's not something that you even do. Yeah. It's something that you are, and that's the ultimate integration.
Yeah.
And so
true.
And I realized all this by recognizing how even like how easily disconnected I could be from myself in my own consciousness and subconsciousness, and and that leads me to remove myself from the world and observe it from this perspective that is separate from the world, rather than integrated into the world. But I think that's the most important thing that I learned, was that everything is all about the integration of the self into all aspects of life: the external world, the internal world, the dream world, the artistic world, the non-artistic world, the material world that is finite, and the world that is infinite, like with the quantum realm world. A lot of like immersiveness into all, I guess. I don't know how to explain
and
that.
That's where a lot of the lyrical themes came from too. To answer this next question. From Noah. Did the inspiration what was the approach on writing the lyrics of this release? Where did the inspiration and the poetry come from? It comes from exactly what you're just talking about, just that vibe. The approach for the lyrics though were like, it was very flow of consciousness style. Like, we had some ideas in place, and it's kind of just like we just looked at each other and we're like, okay, we both know what we're trying to say with this song. Like, we both know what this song is in terms of like where it's at in the concept of the record. So how do we say it in lyrics? And we'd both
Yeah.
get stuck on a sound and know that, okay, it needs to sound like this, and so pick a word and try to make it sound like that. And it's just like, it's all about saying the thought using the best word to say it.
Well, we did that exercise where we had our lyric sheets. This was like the first thing that we did at the beginning before we even started recording. We were conceptualizing the record, and we had all these songs with the lyric sheets. Some of them were already released that we had, and we were like, these would fit really well on this concept. And we started highlighting words that repeated themselves in different songs. And then we started mapping all the lyrics together. And then it was kind of like, well, okay, this set of lyrics fits really well before and after this set of lyrics. And that's kind of what determined the sequence of the record.
Yeah, that's how we sequenced it.
But
this is about the strategy for the lyrics, not the strategy for the sequencing.
Yeah, I know, but
the lyrics were already written when it came time.
Yeah, strategy for the lyrics. Go out and experience stuff.
Yeah, and then the real strategy is like, okay, we have a melody, now like, what are we trying to say?
Yeah, true.
It's like literally just try to say it, and then you refine it, and then you go, okay, well, that doesn't sound pretty.
Yeah.
But how do we make it sound prettier? Can we replace some words? Can we use older words? Because people love old words. Oh, yeah.
There's also,
like the,
like ought.
And ought, and...
Yeah. Ought to.
Yeah.
People ought to.
And thou. People love thou. Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah, there's also a strategy, actually a conscious strategy of ours was to be pulling from the books we were reading.
Yeah.
To pull concepts from that we really resonated with out of these books. And the way that some of these authors are writing their stuff is just so like beautifully put that it's like, man, I wish I could just take that and put it in a song. I'm not gonna do that. That's not really creative. But the concepts that they're writing about are it just creates so much imagery in the brain.
Then it's easy to do poetry.
And that's where it comes from, right? And then you try to describe it in metaphorical ways rather than literal ways. A lot of metaphor on there, actually. That's another strategy. Appreciation. Knowing that the appreciation for metaphor will unlock many doors in creativity.
Yeah.
And intuitive understanding.
True.
Part of it. Big part of it. All right, next question. That was pretty good.
Next.
Next.
All right, I had enough of this question. Next one. What's your favorite song from your Dubé days that never got re-released? Mine was definitely like, If It's All You Need.
Yeah, If It's All You Need. That never actually got released at all.
Yeah. It's going to be dope, though.
Oh, it's going to be sick. Like, we're going to retrack that one. And
it's going to be dope.
That was the first time we ever did hip-hop rock properly.
What else do we have here?
Yeah, give us a good...
Okay, from Drop the Mic. Underscore Drop the Mic.
Let's hear it.
Making and promoting music can be a really social media heavy, grindy world. I don't know why I'm reading it like this is how I'm imagining this question being asked. It can be a really social media heavy, grindy world. But you guys seem to have a more grounded relationship with your creativity. How has nature and the non-consumerized world become a bigger part of your lifestyle and inspiration as artists? The end, yeah, that's a bit weird, the end. Yeah.
It's crazy because I feel like that question answers itself.
Yeah.
Right, like that's a really good question. That is a really good question. And I think that
well, it's very easy because he mentions consumerism, like non-consumerist, like making music is about production. Production is the opposite of consuming.
Yes,
So when you stop focusing on consuming things and you start like actively like avoiding the need to consume things, you just start to make things.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what happens when you come out here. You come out here and you spend time in nature. You kind of just like learn that it's about producing, not about consuming.
Yeah, well, that's what's been really interesting about building. Because it's like it's really similar to producing a record.
Yeah.
You're producing whatever it is that you're building, a deck, renovation, a house, whatever it is that you're building. And there are all the stages similar to the stages of making a record, like your foundation, right? You got to get a good foundation for your song idea as well as a mix. And then you work your way down into the details. And then you do all the, tying the bow, and it's like, oh, the nice trim and whatever it is that ends up being really nice in the house, the nice stain, whatever it is, is like having that nice, crispy, perfectly tuned in vocal.
Yeah.
Sitting in with the rest of it, and it's just like,
Yeah.
it kind of, like, I don't know about you, but I've just seen the world in that way of production. Like,
Yeah,
it's
me
not,
too.
It's not music
So I mean,
production.
like,
it's like,
I actually
it's
don't
not
care.
really a category of what I'm producing. It's just production of
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
life.
Literally,
you know,
consumers versus producers.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that is like, the stupidity we're talking about. There's lots of stupidity that's just mindlessly all about consuming things. What is the next thing that I'm going to consume? And then it turns into, you need to make things that I consume.
Yeah.
It turns into, I'm not having enough consumption.
Yeah.
And that can
Yeah.
get out of hand
Yeah.
real quick. So that was from Drop the Mic. This next question is from Pick Up the Mic.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how, it's also
Do you think
underscore.
do you think it's the
probably,
same person, two
probably
accounts?
the same guy whose name is Mike.
Is that right? Oh, yeah. Drop the mic.
Drop the mic, pick up the mic.
It's his burner account.
Either that or it's like there's a massive copyright battle happening between these two people. They're just fighting it out. Anyways, Pick Up the Mic says, you guys have a great way of balancing introspective songs and songs that express a lot of energy outward at the world. Has your songwriting or sonic inspiration shifted since the demos in a way that leans towards those simmering songs or explosive ones more going forward? That was a long question.
That was a pretty long question. You need a breath after that?
Yeah. It hasn't shifted much. It's always been the same attempted process in terms of the level of introspection. You can make like really introspective, heavy music. And we have for a long time. It's just when you start working more commercially and you work more in the world of consumerized consumer music,
Yeah.
your music has to be less introspective, and you're encouraged to dumb things down in the interest of increasing ticket sales.
I heard this thing that's like lyrical content in like the top 40
This is a Rick Beato thing.
is like the understanding of grade 5 English.
Yeah, I totally believe that.
It's like it's like
It's more that stupidity.
yeah.
Yes,
And
yes.
it's like there's not much room for big concepts and introspection in that.
Yeah, so we had to like sideline a bunch of our songs because of that. Because it's like like you could make an introspective song and then you take it to your team and it'll be like, well, there's not much we can do. This isn't really going to be a single. And so it just gets sidelined, and then you become less encouraged to do stuff like that, and you start to get impatient, and so you choose to write songs about sillier things.
Like seshing.
Pretty girls on bikes.
Yeah. And it's just like, what is this even about? Like,
You get it? It's
many-
because they're on the bike, and so the bike seat is pushing up their butt,
yeah, and it's like,
and you look at that and you go, yeah.
and you know what?
Consumerism.
Write a song about it, and everyone else is gonna go,
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah,
Everybody
I
loves
love
that.
I love
Everybody
that.
loves that.
It's so relatable. It's so relatable.
And the hilarious thing is it actually kind of works.
Yeah.
It actually kind of works. From Loose Lips Band.
Okay.
Why AI artwork?
Nice. That's a good question. Well, the artwork is like part AI and part not AI. So did a lot of generation, and like we spent, I don't know, weeks coming up with prompts and just trying stuff out. While we were making the record, we get these crazy ideas of like, this feels like insert whatever crazy imagery was in our brains at the time, and it would just puke out these crazy visuals.
Yeah.
And
A lot of them made sense.
Yeah,
A lot of them
made-
just felt like they linked really well to the concept of the record
yeah,
in a way
yeah.
that's like you wouldn't be able to achieve without using AI.
Yeah.
Because the record feels, it like hints at like a dystopian feeling. And
That's
like
that was part of it too, is like the it's like method acting.
Yeah.
Right? Like the record is about this breaking out of this this feeling of self-confinement or
digital prison vibes.
Yeah. And so that's what like all the octave voicing is all about and stuff. And so yeah, it was kind of part of the vibe of what the record's about. And so, you know, like, I don't know, I see it in a way that's like prompting ideas is an art in itself. Coming up with crazy stuff that can create that imagery is an art in itself, because it's not easy.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of people say it is, and I'm sure it is easy.
Yeah.
But the amount of effort and time that I spent coming up with prompts to get that imagery was a long time. And then all the post editing, which was like, there was hours of designing and reworking images and trying stuff. Yeah, trying drawing stuff and overlaying and like, just like to me, at least to me, it's an art project to make that artwork, and maybe that can be challenged, and I don't really care.
It's a dope artwork.
I think it's
perfect.
so sick. I think it's so dystopian.
Sick.
I think it's so weird. I think that when you look at it, you go, what the fuck is that? Like, really, what is that? Like, that's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
And unsettling, and which fits so well with the concept of the record.
And it was cheap.
And it was cheap.
Nice and cheap.
Yeah. Well, that's the best part.
Yeah.
Undermining all those talented artists in the world, robbing them.
Well, someday,
of their ability to get paid for that.
someday video makers are going to be using AI generated music on their videos.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have no problem with that. I'm going to be like, respect.
No, that's going to be so funny, if anything.
Yeah, it's going to be respect.
But it's going to be sick, because it'll create a huge demand for real music.
True, like you want
just like art, just like art
music.
right now.
You want to outcompete AI music, then make better music.
Yeah. Well, like AI is always going to be a step behind what the next human
innovators
are
doing.
And then they program that new human innovation into the AI, and then like, I don't know if art and music is one of those things that AI will get ahead of.
Yeah.
Maybe like business strategies and business models, maybe. Managing numbers and finances, maybe.
It's still a people's game. Like, it's still about human innovation. Like, AI is really good at, like, humans innovate something well, and then AI just scales that innovation.
Yeah.
That's kind of like where it's doing really well.
Yeah.
And in music, it's the same case.
And then it becomes stale.
Well, that
and then it needs to grow itself.
and then because all art is driven by the experience of novelty.
Yeah.
So if AI does something long enough, people will be like, well, I want novelty again. And then it just comes to a point where the novel thing is human-made music.
Wow, it's so novel. Crazy.
So Influx asks, is there a reason you don't have your music on Bandcamp? No, just laziness and ignorance and that kind of stuff. We'll try to get it on there.
Bandcamp.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that in like years.
Bandcamp's dope because it's like the artist actually gets the money. You can actually sell it.
Last time I heard about Bandcamp.
Like Bandcamp.
Yeah, I know what it is. I'm just trying to think the last time I heard of it.
It's well,
it was
man.
John Wayne.
Yeah, he does. He uses Bandcamp.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, that's like his thing, no?
Yeah.
That's pretty sick. And Patreon.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we already answered that one. From Party.Dad, any reason behind the AI art?
No,
that's my bad. I wasn't supposed to read that.
Okay, next question.
Abigail asks, any chance of a US tour? I'm just kidding. I already asked that one too. All right, Dead and Wet. Who's Dead and Wet? That's an interesting name. Reveal yourself.
We want the face reveal. No, let's hear it.
Any ideas when you come to Germany for a tour?
It's going to be the same answer as the American tour.
Okay, I should read the question before I go.
Yeah.
On a scale of not at all to we are so back. Oh yeah, this is another touring request. No touring. Sorry, everybody. No touring.
But also, like, on a scale of, what is it?
Not back at all to we are so back.
It's kind of somewhere in between. Like, you know, we said we were gonna film a podcast. We put that post out, and then like a month went by because we're like doing stuff. We're building. We're, you know, like, we're literally home at 10 o'clock every night from building, and it's like we don't really have the time to film the podcast, and we want to,
But we're hoping
and then
to-
we did it, and then we were like, oh, it's not good enough. It's got to be better than that.
Yeah, yeah.
It'll be so amazing.
Yeah.
And then we're like, okay,
It doesn't
let's just
matter.
order these mics, and
it
it
really
doesn't matter,
yes.
and we'll just do this, and we'll keep doing it.
So like,
We'll get better at it.
like kind of back a little bit.
Back a little bit, but
We're
not
hoping-
not enough to care about growing a presence or any of that stuff.
but we are
still.
hoping to be back eventually to like making music regularly and releasing music constantly. Like that's the vibe. That's
we just
why.
gotta-
That's why we got to build a studio.
Yeah, we got to get there. Once the studio's built, man, it's record after record
Yeah.
after record. Like,
So let us know if you want to help build a studio. We're accepting donations. You can come out and actually help us in labor. We'll give you like some cold bread and stuff.
cold bread and
in the
lukewarm
evenings,
water.
Lukewarm water, and you can just basically slave away for us. That's the best way you can help us. Don't stream our music. Come slave away for us.
Build our studio.
On wet bread, which will cost nothing. Okay, next question. What created the vocal effect most prevalently heard in I&I? Is it a tremolo, a vocal channel ducked by another identical one? Incredible album. Continuously finds more meaning in my lived experiences. That's from Kai Eats Moss.
Well, I'm glad. I'm super glad about the last part.
Yeah,
That the record, like, we're able to.
yeah.
What is it? The meaning? It's to convey
Continuously find
meaning?
more meaning in
Yeah.
my lived experiences.
Yeah.
Baller.
Wow, that's
And if it's
dope.
and if it's any help in terms of the vocal effect, that would be in I&I, talking about the chorus of I&I, probably where it goes over da 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 da. Yeah, it
It's
sounds like
you
you're
can't
singing
see
through a
me.
fan.
Sounds like you can't see
Yeah, it
me.
sounds like John Cena on cocaine.
Yeah. It's what is it? Ring
It's a
modulator.
ring modulator.
And that's did we just use the Reaper stock plugin?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
basically just a fader that turns up and down really fast.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you.
No, it's sick. It's sick.
but when it turns up and down at the frequency of the bass note.
Yes. Yes.
That's the trick. And you have to automate that to get it to feel like that.
Yeah, it sounds like the bass is triggering the vocal to
Yeah,
to
exactly.
do its effect. But
Exactly.
there's also the other stuff like the pitchfork and the like pogs and running through distortions and ricochets and
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all kinds of other vocal
Yeah,
effects.
yeah.
Went ham on the vocal effects.
Yeah.
What different fuzzes did you use for the left panned guitar on Best Direction and Triggered Emotion? The left panned guitar. That's like that crazy one. That's got to be
Is that your effects bass?
No, Best Direction, the left side is the guitar, the intro guitar.
That's McCormick analog.
Yeah, it's a
custom-
McCormick
custom.
analog clone of a Fuzz factory.
Yeah.
He calls it the Fuzz Factory.
It's great. It sounds so good. And it's such a crazy pedal. Like you touch the knob, like you touch anything on that thing, it just changes
Yeah,
it
yeah, the brand new
completely.
crazy fuzz tone.
Like it's like
Yeah.
so, it's actually hard to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you touch it and you're like, it sounds so crazy, and you touch it again, you're like, it sounds even crazier. And it's like that can happen between takes by accident,
Mm-hmm.
literally. But yeah, McCormick analog, actually really dope. He makes all kinds of really dope stuff.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out McCormick analog, Mr. Calvin McCormick.
So that question was from Mr. Archer.
Nice.
Probably that's Ben Archer.
Yeah, Ben Archer.
Which is hilarious because the last question, this is the last question, is from I Am the Bass Man.
Isn't that also Ben Archer?
It is.
Nice.
So he's doing that thing where he's scanning 2 groceries as well.
Oh yeah, nice.
So tell him
It's like I'm just gonna ask I want to ask 2 questions, but I'm gonna ask from 2 different accounts. And no one knows.
makes 2 accounts on Instagram. They'll
Oh,
never
Ben,
know.
we
Mr.
know.
Archer.
We know, Mr.
You
Archer,
shouldn't have
what
named
you're
yourself
up to.
Mr. Archer. All right, well, he asks, and we'll answer your second question. When you were putting together the title tracks, were you singing one single note and then using the pitchfork for the melody? Or did you sing the melody and then harmonize underneath it with the pitchfork?
We sang the melody, and then we had the vocal while we were tracking going through the
It was going through a
little altar boy.
Yeah, a vocal manipulator that was keeping one, like it was creating a replica of the vocal, but making it one note at all times. So you have the melody kind of like floating up over the one note, but the one note is anchored. So
It's
there's
like a
two
bagpipe.
voicings.
It does like a bagpipe effect.
That's
yeah.
exactly it.
Yeah, that was so cool discovering that.
That was a pretty sick
That's so
discovery.
cool. Yeah, so we did like that whole jokes thing, like this is the chorus.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Where we like fucked
Just
around
the
with it with
idea.
headphones on, just sesh like
Oh, that was sick.
just
Working out the
saying
structure.
stupid stuff in the mic, and it was like,
This
this
is
is
the
so cool. We gotta
chorus.
make a song with this.
Nah.
And we made a super serious song
Yes.
with that.
Oh, I think we missed this question. What was different about going into the writing and production process for Luna rather than your previous releases? Well, we did cover that. Like,
Yeah,
a lot was conceptually, contextually different, all that stuff. But
Yeah.
the main difference was like, we went in there like, we're making a record, we're doing the whole thing, we're not hiring a single person to do this. And it's going to take as long as it needs to take, we don't mind. We'll work construction to pay the bills in the meantime.
Yeah, and it was also the aspect of like, we have something to say now.
Yes.
Whereas like
Yeah.
before, we were just making music with literally nothing to say. So you sing about smoking weed. And it's like, it's super immature reflecting on it. Not that I'm not proud of it. I'm actually kind of not proud of it. You know, like it's that's the thing that I was saying, like that I was, well, whatever, maybe complaining about earlier, where it's like, you look at the world and there's so much degenerate stuff happening, music that's being put out, movies that get made, the culture that people are consuming is degenerate.
Yeah.
And we were contributing to that by doing all this session
By being
stuff.
degenerate.
Yeah, by being degenerate, totally.
And not having much else to contribute.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Like,
It's hilarious. It's honestly so funny. No, what I have to say is that important.
like no.
So what do you have to say? Just have fun.
Which is like true. Like you do need to have fun.
No, just ignore ignore that.
everything else.
Ignore that. Just have fun, you know?
Yeah.
Don't do anything. It's the straw house pig.
Yeah.
It's the
totally.
straw house pig versus the brick house pig. Don't worry.
Yeah, actually, that's a good analogy for what was different going into this record. We
Turned
went in
into
with the brick house
pig.
mentality. Yeah.
Yeah, we should change the band name to Brick House Mentality.
I like that. Is there not I thought there was a question.
There's more.
Oh,
I just
okay,
realized.
Great. No, yeah.
From
go away.
Eleanor Van Veen, a true artist.
Oh, there you go.
Unlike that other guy. What was the process like for finding a meeting ground between your previous and new work?
Finding a meeting ground. Well, I think that there was part of it was we're not trying to find a meeting ground. A lot of it was experimenting, knowing that this is gonna go way beyond what we've ever done.
Yeah, honestly, the process is just like not caring.
Yeah, let go. Let go.
Straight up, don't care. Like there were tons of thoughts like, if we put this song on the same album as this, like how is it gonna get categorized? Or is it gonna be a rock record, or is it gonna be a folk, electric folk record? Like what's going on here? And there was like a little bit of like, who's gonna want to playlist this, and then it kind of just became like, well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
We're just gonna put this together, and if it's so different that it can't be categorized, then isn't that a good thing?
Like as an artist, I feel like that's the best position to be in.
And then
where it's like you have something that's so unique that no one really cares right now.
Yeah.
And you do your unique thing long enough, and it's true about any artist. This happened to Nirvana. They did their unique thing for long enough until it became popular. People were like, this is super dope. Enough people heard it, and they're like, yeah, this is sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like part of it was like, let go of the idea of like who we were and what we were doing in the past, and just immerse into this new experience of being a studio artist only. And don't try to create stuff to play live. Like forget about all that. And that unlocked so many doors for us, production wise and songwriting wise.
Yeah, it just made it really easy to
it's cool.
Bridge the gap.
And it's cool because if I feel like the meeting ground happened in like the escalation in the songs that we rewrote or reproduced. That was kind of like tying the record to our previous work, which was like we had this sound very cool rock like fuzz heavy, and then we took it up and introduced the bass level, the low end level of what we were doing before, because we always felt like we were missing it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting. Like we went with, for the sesh, like we had that mix by John Wayne, who's a hip hop artist. He's a rapper and beat maker. And we went with him because we heard his vinyl. Here you go.
One of his beat tapes.
And there's that one beat. It's
Yeah.
like Strangers in the Night, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It had that low end that was like, whoa.
Yeah, like you're like, whoa.
Like I need to talk, like, so good, I need to have you mix my record.
I need to have a conversation with this guy right now.
And the thing is I'm not even certain that he mixed that.
He didn't. I think that was Daddy Kev.
Sure.
Yeah.
But
John would have totally been the kind of guy to make sure that it's there, you know?
yes.
Like he would be listening back to them going like, like that.
And there was the aspect of like, the label wanted rock, and rock doesn't have all the low end, and like they were on edge about going with John.
Yeah.
Because he's not like a huge mixing engineer, and we wanted him to mix it because we knew that it was new for him in the same way that like we want our experiences of art to be novel.
Yeah.
We knew that going with him, it would spark that novelty because he's a hip hop guy.
Yeah, and he's also just a very like creative person.
Totally.
So he was able to roll with the punch, and he had to prove himself to the label, and he did it like everyone was so impressed by his mix, and they're like, this actually slaps.
Dude,
and I was just like, hell yeah. And then the whole thing happened. I was like, let's go. And then COVID hit, and then it was just like, let's not go.
Well, we also did, he mixed Bummer.
Yeah.
As well.
Exactly.
Right? Because that was
exactly.
It was like, how do you not go with John Wayne?
Yeah.
Goat, man. How do you not go with him on these rock records? Like, this is sick.
Am I missing anything here? You said I was.
Well, I thought there was a question about like frequency. Frequency spectrum, and maybe I'm wrong, but we were talking. I remember answering a comment about how we recorded everything at 432 hertz. I don't know if it's in there or not, but
maybe not. Maybe we're gonna miss it. We're gonna have to release like a 2-minute video of us being like, "Hey, what's up?
Hey,
it's Quinn and Yan.
We're so sorry.
It's Quinn and Yan from.
So sorry we forgot.
It's Quinn and Yan from Brick Mentality. We're here to just do a quick follow up. We made a mistake in our last video. We missed this one question. Here's our answer.
And by the way, tune in to this thing that we have going on because it's super important, and you're going to miss out if you don't see it, and you're going to be like, man, I wish I saw that.
Yes.
Oh, and by the way, new music coming out in 6 months. We have music coming out in 6 months.
Oh, and by the way, there's only 4 days left to sign up to come slave away and work on building a studio for us in exchange for cold bread, so don't miss your chance to sign up for that.
All the spots are going to fill up, and you'll be so mad that you missed out on that.
You can bring your dog. It's a dog-friendly event. Just make sure you bring your A game because we're ready to build.
Yeah, man. We're gonna build a pyramid recording studio, so get ready.
Yeah, that'd be so funny. A bunch of just random people show up, and then you're just like, "Oh my gosh, I have to give everybody a task."
I gotta train all these people in how to read a measuring tape.
Did you bring your own measuring tape? No. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you can come move some rocks or something. You don't need a measuring tape for that.
You know what we should do though? It'd be so sick, man. Like, we should. Because I've been documenting so much of the construction stuff. Mm-hmm. It's like that's literally all we do. So it's like, I should make a bunch of construction content.
Yeah, like some videos of the process.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then put it out, and like that's the band content. Is like
that's
just construction.
Just watch us build our studio.
It's like one of those off-grid channels there, like Kyle's Cabin or something.
Yes.
Or Alaskan Cabin Adventures.
One man, one cabin.
Yeah, one man, one cabin. Should be the new band name. And then brand ourselves around that. No, we shouldn't do that. But I should make construction videos. That'd be sick. Dude, that'd be dope. I'm gonna do that.
That's pretty much it for the list of questions. We're kind of just floating around on the raft now. We're just gonna, as they say, dock the ship. We're gonna dock the ship physically, and we're gonna dock the ship metaphorically in terms of this podcast. And just say thank you very much for everything, all the streaming, you know, because you guys know how much it means to us that our streaming numbers are going up. It means people are consuming our music, and there's nothing more important than consumption. So thank you. And Quinn, please tell people, where can they find you personally?
Everyone can find me personally in the middle of nowhere.